everything dissolves, you have to go to another instruction, and that is a cooling down. Now, you don't want to cool it down too fast because then you're going to get little lumps in there. So you're going to take the cubes, it says take cubes, put the cubes of ice in that while stirring gently. So this helps it to cool down. So everything that you're doing is not only getting it done, it's protecting the next goal. Your goal is to have something, a content that is like what you see in the store. You want it whole, you want it put together, you want it edible, you don't want it drinkable, you want it edible. So if it turns out and it's drinkable, then that means it hasn't been done, or something is missing, or it's not complete. Because your goal is to get jello. Right? So now, once you do all of that, there's another instruction. And that is to sit it in the freezer. As a matter of fact, there's an instruction before that. And that is to take out the ice, because you don't want it to melt to the point where it becomes extra water. Because you want to keep the consistency of it in a jello form. And if you have too much liquid, then it's not going to form properly. It's going to be loose. So you take all of that out, those cubes of ice, and you put the jello in the refrigerator. While it is sitting in the refrigerator, it is going through a process. And that is a coming together. Even though you don't see the dry content anymore, even though you can't see the boiling water, even though you can't see the ice cubes, even though you can't see it pulling itself together to firm up for its last goal, and that is to become that which you destined it to be. This is what God does for us. This is where we are. So now, if someone was to come along, and before the jello finish being formed, someone comes and knocks it over, well, it's a disruption. Now you got to figure out what to do. But first you got to address, why would you do that? Why would you knock over what I was doing? I'm trying to reach a goal and you trying to stop it? And whatever the answer is, if the answer is against what your will was, and that is to do the will of what was being said to make the jello. If it's against that, then it's not for you. It can't be on your side and against you at the same time. So then you would know, I can't make this around this person. But it brings you in knowledge, or makes you knowledgeable of the other things that this person also cannot be around. And that is anything that you feel you're going to move forward to, that disruptive spirit and or person is going to hinder you from getting to your intended goal. So now you have an understanding of what's happening. You're one, paying attention. Two, you are, what's the other one I said? staying focused. So paying attention and staying focused is one of those things that help you to move forward. Moving forward is to make sure that you get to your intended goal. Now, I went all around the corner to say this, and that is the intended goal is for you to live in peace, joy, and happiness. For you to have that which what the world cannot provide for you. For you do know that the kingdom was put in each of us. And it is our own choice to choose peace, joy, and happiness. Now, God gave us a spirit which is not of fear. So now in this spirit, it is power, love, and a sound mind. So where does abuse fit in there? It doesn't. It doesn't. There are things that we have to pay close attention to and stay focused on so that we'll get to our intended goal. And that is to live a life of joy, peace, and happiness. There are things that are happening in the world that will let you know that there's someone or something against you. And people like to say, outside of the word, they like to say, well, there's a force happening, or there's what they call it, the nature and all of this stuff. But all of that stuff acts under one God because he controls all of that. So in order for you to be in link with the one that created all things and put a goal within you to meet, which is to be in joy, peace, and happiness, to have power, love, and a sound mind, to not have fear in the sense of what abuse causes. See, abuse causes you to have a type of fear of people. But God already told us, don't trust man. He already told us to judge ourselves. What are we judging ourselves for? If we're paying attention, if we're staying focused. See, my daughter, my eldest daughter, she said something to me one day, and I held on to that for the longest time, and I will continue to hold on to it because it made a lot of sense. And it was about her going over someone's house. And she said, you know what, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. I appreciate their invitation and all that good stuff, but I can't be around them because they taking my powers. And I was like, ooh, girl, you better get it. Don't take my powers. But in order to know that your powers are being taken, you have to what? You have to do those two things. So whatever it is that you are doing, know what you are accepting. And when you're getting this, whatever you're going to accept, get understanding of it. It helps you set a place of where you recognize that you are definitely protecting the intended goal. See, if you recognize that you can't be around a certain person or certain things or can't go to certain places, and you're recognizing and paying attention to how your body or your mental capacity changes when you are in those different areas and or scenarios. You're staying focused. You're paying attention. This is why I believe that we were told to judge ourselves. Because if you're judging yourself, you really don't have the time to judge someone else, which is one of the things that causes us to fall, fumble, and disintegrate. Disintegrate our goals. So when we think about abuse and we think about power, love, and a sound mind, where does abuse sit? Where does it have its place? Does it have a place in the kingdom of joy, peace, and happiness? Does it have a place in power, love, and a sound mind? Where's the place for abuse in this? It's not there. Because you can't operate in love and be abusive at the same time. You can't respect power and operate it, be operative in it in a way that brings joy, peace, and happiness. If you're doing it through abuse, it doesn't work. Having a sound mind, abuse doesn't fit there. Abuse disrupts your thinking process. There were so many things that I did wrong, and it took me some time to try to figure things out. Let me tell y'all something. I'm talking to you all because there is nothing like having a sound mind. And I realized that abuse had taken that away from me. I was afraid of everything and everybody. I didn't have trust. Not in the sense of I could trust this person to save this, or I could trust this person to get this message to whoever, whatever. I mean, in any sense of the word. I trusted no one. I couldn't even go to a store and think that I was going to be safe. It's important. It's important to pay attention to what your mind and your body is saying to you. They had a saying called stranger danger, and they was giving this to the young children that were in school or daycare so that they will know the difference. Okay, that person is bringing some type of aura that is not safe. You're not going to be afraid of something that's, not abusive. So you have to be aware of what's happening around you. When I went through my abusive relationship, it tore me down so far till, let me tell y'all, I was hiding in kitchen cabinets. This real talk. This is my transparency. For fear that this abuser of whom was allowing abuse to work through them. They only become the abuser when they allow that spirit of greed, selfishness, control, jealousy, and more to act through them. See, that's when abuse comes in. through strife. The word says that where there is strife, there is every work of evil. So now, in that, what is it that will help you to understand that you don't have to have, you do not have to have anything that is against the will of you having peace, joy, and happiness? No, thank you, baby. So now, what happens is when you come to your senses, you get to determine what is causing you to be distant and or standoffish to that abuse. Where are you letting it in? And so many times these are things that we don't want to address, but this is why we're supposed to judge ourselves. We don't have time to judge the other person. We have to judge us to find out what's going on. Did we have a part in it? And how did we have a part in it? And people like to say maybe that we attracted these certain things. Well, I believe that to a certain degree. Because truth be told, a thief is not going to go to somebody that guards their money and is watching over that. There are no cracks where you could get in. Yo, let me get a couple of dollars. I can't do that. I ain't got it. Oh, you got it. Let me hold some. I don't got it. And then when that person goes to sleep, because they weren't aware of how dangerous this situation could get, then the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So judging ourselves is important. And I want you to know and understand that there's nothing that can happen that will keep you out of those laws if you activated them. If you're doing them, paying attention, which answers the command to love one another. 2, stay focused, which keeps one in good works of the second command, which is to love thy neighbor as thyself. If you do these 2 things, you will be able to activate that spirit that has been given us. That is power. You have power to choose love. You will be loving yourself. And a sound mind. You will be able to think according to what's best for you. This has been Sandra Lucky. Know that if you are going to do anything to move forward, protecting your goal or goal protecting, you're going to need both of those things. 1, to pay attention. 2, to stay focused. This is Sandra Lucky just saying, you have been here with me today for what I offer to the world. And that is to be a part of the After the Rain of Storm Raining, a program geared toward helping people to break free from abuse. Helping people to understand that they're worthy. They're more important than what abuse wants them to think. I look forward to hearing your comments. I look forward to hearing how better you're moving forward to keep the goal of living a life that brings love, joy, peace, and happiness. And of course, in righteousness in the spirit. That is the right way. Please leave comments, ask questions. We'll get to them as best I can. Know that you are a victor, not a victim. And you can plant better so that you can dominate. This has been Sandra Lucky. I say again, thank y'all so much for coming. Thank you for joining in live and posting all your comments and all of that good stuff. Appreciate you. Remember, stay focused and pay attention. Y'all have a great day. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thank y'all.